One of the most valuable services here in Polk County, at least that I've found, is the Polk County property appraisers. And you know, it's interesting because I come from other parts of the country, and to see the evolution of what has happened in tools and being able to look up properties, it has become so intriguing. In fact, I can lose myself for hours on the Property Appraiser's website. And here to talk about some of the new things going on is our very own property appraiser, Marcia Fox. Marcia, thanks for coming on.
Sure, good morning. It's good to be here.
Now, Marcia, you've been with the property appraisers for a while. You've been with the county for a long time. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I first started at the property appraiser's office in 1992. I retired from public supermarkets after 21 and a half years and started my career at the property appraiser's office, and then was elected as property appraiser in 2000, starting my first term in 2001. Mm-hmm. So about 22 years total in the property appraiser's office.
Now, in 22 years, kind of briefly tell us what it was like 22 years ago in the property. I mean, were we looking at paper documents and things like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Electronics was hardly anything. I mean, I even believe that our appraisals was being done by sending our data over to the county's IT department, and then we would wait for reports to come back. And we progressed from that, of course, with putting in a software system.
Right.
In 2007, I believe, was our first year. And in 2008 or 9, I believe, once we got the software for technology, then that allowed us to create and develop our website. And since that time, of course, we've grown and tried to keep up with what's in demand and providing all of our taxpayers and bankers and real estate folks with, you know, what they want to see.
Well, I kind of alluded to it in the intro. I moved down here in 2003 to go to school. And, you know, coming into school, I was a little bit older, and, you know, I was looking at investing into some properties, and it blew my mind away in 2003 that I could get on and find just about any property in the county by typing in an address or even just searching it online, you know, and pulling up just about any information I wanted on that particular home. And it's become a lot, even more detailed now. Tell us about some of the...
It's exciting.
Tell us about some of the things on the website that people can get involved with.
Well, we... 3 years ago, we put an application on our website for filing the tangible personal property tax returns that are due from our businesses. April 1st of every year, they're required to file a listing of assets that they use in the business. And so we had that application, which was built by staff, in-house staff in our IT department, which is awesome, by the way. And that went live, and so that cut out mailing paper and mailing the tangible returns, and that opened up the doors for us in a lot of ways, and everybody, of course, all of our CPAs and accountants were very excited about that. And then from that, this is our second year, we implemented and developed, our staff did a homestead exemption and all exemptions. In fact, currently, we're the only property appraiser's office in the state of Florida that has an application that you can file for whatever exemption you may qualify for. A lot of the counties have just homestead, but if you have homestead and widows or veterans or your portability, you're transferring from another county, you have to go in and file in person. So we're very pleased with that, and our numbers have just gone crazy with people, and a lot of good feedback. And when we get that feedback, we take that and put it into our development and work on it on a test database system to, you know, maybe in a day's time, a half a day's time, is to update the website and put these things that have been made suggestions on there. So it's really amazing at how many hits, many millions and millions of hits we get a month on our website.
Sure. Well, I even know, you know, you were mentioning about the exemptions and home. As a first-time home buyer, that stuff can be really confusing. You know, what is it? You know, and obviously you want to get the best out of what you've got. You know, if you can do the homestead exemptions, it's not just doing it online. It's learning about it. I mean, you've got the information that explains it on there, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah. So as you're going through and you're answering the questions, if you answer a question one way, then that the system prompts you to the next. It skips all the stuff that you don't really.
It's like having your personal appraiser hold your hand right through the whole process.
And then when it comes to where we have to have your identification and your driver's license, we do have a very highly secure system with security, and it'll tell you at that point that you can scan that into the system, and it docks it, and you just finish the process. And then once you have completed it, our response will email you back to tell you that your application has been completed and accepted, and your email, we get your email because we're building emails in our database as communication, and then someone, if they have a question about that, can then directly email the homeowner to say, okay, this is not quite, we need one more piece of material, or whatever it is to complete it. So it's a great way to communicate.
Now, you had mentioned briefly, we got to talk a little bit before the show here, and you had mentioned, what did you call it? It was kind of like the topography, or what's the new thing that you've got on the website?
Okay, the other new thing that we have just put out in the last month is we're changing our map site, our map search and site on our website.
Which is already pretty good.
Yes, yes. It's the GIS, the geographical information systems with the map. But the map was very small.
Yeah.
You could blow it up to an extent. But now with the new beta test map search, you can have the full screen of the map. So for those of us who are getting old and need glasses, it helps. Yeah. And there's just so many cool things you can do with this now. You can search on that map by parcel or name. You can click on what year of the aerials that you want. There's a search tool which will allow you to search and do a perimeter, a buffer. Like if you had a home, you wanted to know what the 500 owners around it were, you can create your buffer to go out 1 mile around that, and it'll produce a list that you can download.
Which is helpful when you're trying to find out what home values are in your neighborhood.
And we also, another thing that everyone was asking for was a measure tool. So now you can do the measure tool, and then you can pick what measurement you want, whether it's square feet or centimeters or acres.
So if you want to know how far it was from the nearest Publix, you can just...
Yeah, and you can just click on a point, and then you have to drag it to the next point and click. So you make it, and as it's doing that, it's giving you your area by whichever means you chose to have that from. So that is really pretty cool. That's
brilliant.
And it also will give you longitude and latitude. We had a lot of folks ask us for a longitude and latitude. And so it's just very exciting. Yes, yes. And now what we're going to do is pictometry. We had to go out and do 3 major state bids, but pictometry is who we chose. So they have flown the aerials for 2014 in March of this year. So the 2014 aerials will be on the website here in about a month. We're shooting for the 1st of October. And with the aerials, we're also getting the pictometry, which will allow you to zoom in almost at street level and be able to go around the structure at a 360 degree.
Wow.
And you will be able to measure building height. So we're very excited about that, and we are going to put the pictometry out there for our citizens to use. And so we're just
incredible.
It is. It's incredible. But I have an incredible IT staff.
Yeah.
Sharona Knight and our team are just amazing. Anna Williams works on our website, and Paige Sims and the mapping. It's just really have a great team.
Well, it's interesting to see because I think you understand, just talking with you, you understand where things need to go.
Yes.
It's we live in a digital age, and people are constantly wanting more information, and not just more personalized. Like like you were talking about the measurement. I mean, to me that is the smartest thing. Because you want to know what's around you and how far it is. And,
Well, I do get out in the community quite a bit, and I go to the commercial industrial developers group and the realty meetings, and this is a lot of stuff that they've talked to us about in the past years. So they're very excited, and this is the reason why we put it out there right now as a test site. We want your feedback.
Right.
And we've had approximately 200 feedbacks. Mostly, I can think of maybe one or two that was a little bit negative. Not negative in the sense that bad, but, well, I wished you would have done this instead of this.
Right.
But where we've had multiple feedbacks of the same items, we've already made 6 major changes to fill those requests. And we've put those out there that these are the changes that we've made. So it's just...
I think that's rewarding to the residents when they give their input and they know it's not just in one ear out the other. They see those changes pop up and in a timely manner.
Right.
Now, you said about going out in the community. I've had the opportunity with PGTV to go out and film some of this stuff, and I'm telling you, between you and some of the other professionals that you gather together with and talk about appraisals and property values and because I mean, to me, the property appraiser serves the purpose of informing the community about government business. I mean, that's what you think of as the property appraiser, but you've kind of taken it on your own to help the residents build a better community. You know, help them understand what's gonna make their home more valuable, how they can, you know, use these tools and understand them when they're purchasing homes, when they're doing their research.
Sure, right.
To me, that just is far and above what, you know, property appraiser in my mind would be.
Well, it's an honor for me to serve as property appraiser of Polk County, and I've been very fortunate and very blessed. And it's exciting to be able to give back to people. Yeah. But you know what the key thing is to listen to people. Listening is very important, and to be able to have that line of communications to where, you know, when they call on the switchboard and they ask for me, they get me.
Right.
And unless I'm out of the office in a meeting, they leave me a voicemail, and I return those voicemails. I get about 300 and something emails a day, and some of them I pass to let other folks help me with, but the majority of them I answer myself, and I don't know, it's just an honor, and I want people to feel like that they can. I know it's hard, you know, people say, oh, well, you can't trust government. But I would like to think that we have built ourselves with a good reputation, that we are honorable, and we try to do the very best that we can with the tools we have to work with, and to make sure that appraisal process is difficult. There's so many pieces to it now, with all the exemptions and the legislation that has been implemented over the years. It's not a simple A plus B equals C anymore, okay? So it is. And the trims that just went out, it's difficult to understand that trim. But if I could say anything to you about that, is just go to column 4, because column 4, if the budget gets approved in the public workshop, that will be the column that you will look at that will be implemented for your millage rates this year. Okay,
and the trim notices have gone out. People should be receiving them if they haven't received them already.
They went in the mail August the 18th, and we posted the values for trim on our website on August the 14th. So we started a little early with answering phone calls. And the important thing about trim is it stands for truth in millage. So you need to pay attention to it and look at whether the millage rates have increased or decreased in your taxing authorities. Make sure in the bottom where your exemptions are, that all your exemptions are there, because accidents do happen sometimes. And then your non-ad valorem assessments are on the bottom, and all the phone numbers for questions or anything that you might need to for those other departments that we're not responsible for are on the trim. But, and another key thing that I wrote down this morning that I wanted to make sure, and this is confusing sometimes, because one of our taxing authorities increased their millage rate considerably. And you have to remember that once they have their public hearing meeting, they can always decrease that millage rate once you've been trimmed, but they cannot increase it. So sometimes, if budgetary things aren't quite complete, they will increase the millage rate, and then after the public hearing, that buys them a little more time. However, it does tend to upset people. But that's what the public meetings are for, and I would encourage anyone to please go to those meetings and ask questions. But it's we're very excited and about our new website, map site.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, we have, hopefully we'll have some stuff on our website on the screen that you can call us. We do have 3 office locations, one in Winter Haven, one in Lakeland, and our main office here in Bartow. So
terrific.
Call us if you have any questions.
Marcia, it's always a pleasure when you come on, and you're such a wealth of knowledge. I love talking to you and listening to you. Help us out here in Polk County.
Yeah, well, we're trying. You know, values are coming back slowly. Commercial, let me just talk about that for a minute, because sometimes people want to know. The overall county increase was 5.27%, but our single-family resident was about 8% county-wide. Mm-hmm. Okay, now there are pockets. You got to think about and I hate to say east and west, but on the east side over in that area, sales were a little higher than they were on the west side and the south. So when that all netted out, the overall increase to the county was 5.27. Our commercial and industrial properties, improved properties, remained flat this last year.
But they didn't take as much of a hit, though.
Not quite. They didn't take as much of a hit as single family did. Yeah. But they remained flat this year. And then vacant land got a slight increase, not too much. But we're, you know, the sales that we're looking at now that are happening in 2014 for 2015 is definitely showing another increase. Yeah. And we have to remember, too, that we're a year in arrears in Florida.
Right.
So the cutoff is January 1. So everything that represents a value on your trim notice this year for 2014 was based on activity in 2013.
Right, right. So. Well, things are looking up.
Yes, they are.
And as always, great to have you, and great to see all the new things that are coming out to make property appraisal easy and to understand how to do your taxes and all these exemptions. It's great. Thanks, Marcia.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
The Polk County Property Appraisers, it's really easy. I mean, the first thing you need to do is just go to their website, polkpa.org, and I can promise you, once you get on there, you're going to get lost for hours, because it's almost like a game. You get on there, you look up your property, you're looking up your neighbor's property, you're trying to figure out, oh, what's my home worth? What could it be worth in 3 years? So, you know, take the time to go on there, figure out what your exemptions mean, take a look at the trim notices that were just sent out. Make sure you look at that stuff. That's important information for you and your family and your investment in your homes. So again, visit the Polk Property Appraisers website at polkpa.org, or give Marcia a call. She's going to answer the phone at 863-802-6150 in Lakeland. Or if you're in Bartow, you can call 863-534-4777. If you're in Winter Haven, the number is 863-401-2424.